So we just set up our drip irrigation in the garden, which means no more manual watering and no more sprinkler system in the middle of the backyard. We have our entire system set up, our micro sprayers and our drip emitters, and today I'm taking you along with me and showing you exactly how we managed to set it up super quick in the backyard garden. Let's go. Alright, so over here at our faucet, alright, the first thing you can obviously see is our timer. I absolutely love this timer. I will leave every part that you're going to need in the recommendations in the description below. So this Rainbird timer I absolutely love and would recommend to everybody. It has a whole bunch of different settings. You can set it twice a day, every single day of the week. As you can see, we're in the middle of summer, so we're watering twice a day for now, 7:30 a.m., 8 p.m., and 20 minutes at a time. It has a cancel now button. It also has a water now button. I absolutely love this. It is connected to our faucet, to our spigot, via this Y splitter. This Y splitter basically allows us to run our garden hose in case we need to fill something up. So this is what's currently attached to our sprinkler system, but this will be reeled back in and used as a separate system from now on. And we have our Y splitter attached to the spigot. Now this right here, this piece is a backflow preventer. This is attached to our faucet. If your faucet does not have one, you're going to need one. It does come in this kit that I bought this with, but because we already have one, we don't need one. It's a little mesh piece that prevents everything from going back up into the house line, essentially. So backflow preventer, Y splitter if you want another line. If not, you can put this directly on the faucet. Timer, and then this is the PSI regulator, which basically prevents the drip line from exploding, as I understand it. Just basically what, controls the flow so that it doesn't come out too hard for our drip line. And then this is going to be the piece that connects our actual faucet here to this 1/2 inch tubing. Alright, so you can't really connect it just like that. Alright, this doesn't have any screws, it's just tubing. So this is the part that actually fits into that. It fits in that end, allows you to screw it onto the actual system here, and then your line is officially connected. Alright, so we have over here the piece I just showed you guys, and Alan is going to connect it. The reason I'm not connecting it is because you do have to press in very, very hard, and it takes a little bit of muscle in order to do that. So he is gonna connect it, maybe give it a shake, try to get it off so it doesn't actually come off. Try pulling on it to make sure. Alright, I just want to make sure that this is not actually coming off. Alright, so as soon as you have that piece connected, you're able to screw it into our faucet here. Alright, so we're going to press the water now button to make sure that this is actually connected. I'm going to go to the end of this very long 1/2 inch tubing to make sure water is actually coming out. And success! Alright, so we're getting the entire line connected. Perfect. That is the step one, and Milo is very interested in what's coming out of here. Alright, so back to the faucet to set up everything else. Alright, so what Alan is doing now is he's taking that line and just kind of burying it in this hole, and you can hear Milo crying in the background. Of course, it would not be a mini urban farm video without that, but we have this line. Alan took the liberty of, instead of making it here and go directly across, he kind of did like a little squiggly line over here, even though that was not approved, but we got it. So we have this line, and we're going to continue pushing it through our hole. Essentially what we're going to do at the end of this is just move the grass back so that it grows over and they're not mowing over this line. So there we go, just pushing that line all the way back in, and then when we get to the end like that, we're going to snip it and connect our corners. We're just going to make a snip right here with the scissors so that we can get the line up here with one of our corners over here, just like that. We're going to insert it into the end of this line and then bring another line up. Alright guys, so we have our line coming here, we have a corner piece right there, and then we have another line with another corner piece. So now we are officially inside our box. here on our corner, we're going to take one of our stakes and basically just make sure that it is grounded in here. Perfect. And then right on the other side, I'm going to do the exact same thing and just make sure that we are kind of just in place, no problems. Now this one is a little bit less stable because it's coming up, but I just need it to be almost in the back, and that works perfectly fine. Now that corner piece back there, we're going to take this line right here and run it the entire length of the garden, just trying to get it all the way in the back. I know that there's a lot of plants right now, but we're just going to run it from there and then connect the rest of our emitters. So we have our corner over here, which I'm gonna put in place with one of these stakes over in the corner, and Alan is gonna take our little end piece here. I don't know what it's called, but it's a little end cap, and this is the easiest way, in my opinion, to tie off. So we do that, and then we bend it over and put it on the other piece of this, just like that, and that stops everything from brushing out of the end. And there you go, our entire line. Alright, and then I'm going to take a few of these and pop them through our line, or on top of our line. You can see this black line, just so that it starts coming, you know, towards the back of this, and we don't have to have it interfering with our plants. So I'm going to push it up against the fence, or up against the back of the bed, and then put these scattered throughout the garden. Alright, so we've got our main line set up. It goes around the entire garden, but it is just a 1/2 inch water hose, essentially. So there's nothing coming out of it right now. If I were to turn on the irrigation system, currently the entire line would basically flood, and it's capped at the end, so nothing would actually come out of the line. That is where our drip emitters come in. So we have this line, which we talked about previously, which has these little emitters built into the line. This is my absolute favorite type of line to use for drip irrigation. And the other type of emitter I'm going to use is this fan emitter that basically we hook into our main line, and it comes out and sprays the entire garden in, you know, wherever I place them. So this, I think, goes in 8-foot radiuses, but always check the one that you're using. There are so many different types of emitters that you could possibly use. These are just my absolute favorite ones. That one for the roots of the plants, and this one for seedlings and for direct sown seeds. Now with this kind of an emitter, right, this kind of little fan sprayer, this one actually has a little hose connected to it, so it has the 1/4 inch tubing already, and this has a barbed coupling on the end of it. That is the way I bought it, and you just plug this into the main line essentially, and you are ready to go once you stick this in and turn on the drip. Now with this kind of drip emitter, it doesn't actually have any connectors on it, which is why you're going to need this, which is, you can see that it is one of those same barb couplings. You stick this piece here on the end, you stick that into the actual line. This piece goes into the main line, right, once you poke that hole in it. And then of course you have this other little plug here that goes into the ends that isn't capped, and it just provides this little plug so that the water isn't shooting out everywhere and you're able to cap the end of it. Now that is everything that we are going to put in place. I am going to space them out accordingly. I only have 2 reels of this. Alright, so what I'm going to do is cut about 5 or 6 feet and plug them in every single one of our 5 or 6 foot raised boxes. I think they're about 6 feet. And then the 2 main ones on the end are 8 feet. So we're going to add additional drip line in there, and this I love to just kind of leave scattered so that I can coil it where I need it depending on the season. Alright, so our first fan sprayer is going to go in the middle of this box, right around where Alan is holding, which is the middle of this line in here. Alright, so he's going to go ahead and poke that hole, alright, using our little hole punch. Thank you. So we're going to just poke a simple hole in, whoops! And there was some water in that line, clearly. Yeah, good, you're getting wet? Alright, camera's all wet. So once that finishes coming out, alright, we're going to take that line, oh, still squirting, we're going to take this and install it directly in. Alright, so that line is set right there, and I'm going to put that right at the end of the box. in the front of the box rather. And then just make sure that this little opening, right, since it's 180 degrees, it doesn't go all the way around, that little opening is centered that way, so it's getting everything in the box. So that one is good to go. I'm just gonna move it a little bit further like that. Perfect. And we have our first drip emitter, or our fan sprayer, in our box. Next up, we spread out all the rest of our fan sprayers along the entire rest of the garden. So I think we had 4 left, and we basically just divided it up pretty evenly. We kind of eyeballed it, but just to make sure that everything was aligned. And after that, we basically just cut up our drip emitter line into, I think it was like 6 feet intervals. It doesn't have to be exactly perfect, just to make sure that we have enough in each one of our boxes to get all of the plants with the drip emitters. All right, so we have our bulb couplings plugged into this line. Now we have total 100 feet of this. For this specific bed and the matching one on the other side, we're gonna do 9-foot pieces. All right, so 1 9-foot piece plugged in right here, 1 9-foot piece plugged in on that side, and then plugs on both ends of the line. All right, so from here, once it's actually attached, you can go ahead and coil this however you want around your existing plants. In my case, I'm gonna just allocate it in kind of like a big circle all the way around the bed. The same thing on that side, and then plants around it. All right guys, so we have got all of our drip lines in, and the very last thing is to test it out and see if it works. And success! We have got a brand new irrigation system in our backyard garden, you guys. I'm so excited to never have to manually water these plants ever again. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like and subscribe if you found it helpful, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!